What's up? This is Rebel Radio.
What up? What up? This is DJ Newmark.
This is Peanut Butter Wolf.
It's your boy. It's okay.
Keep checking out Rebel Radio.
Rebel Radio.
This is Rebel Radio.
We're in the place right here. Rebel Radio is going down.
Would you say Rebel Radio?
Oh, wait. Let's do it again.
Rebel Radio.
What's up, Rebels? Welcome back to Rebel Radio, the weekly show where I bring you the rebels who are shaping our culture. We talk about how they do it, why they do it, and what you can do to get a little piece of the pie for yourself. We're also the only show to bring you new music every week from our friends over at EDM.com. I'm your host, Josh Levine, and this week I take you backstage at the Shrine Amphitheater. We catch up with LP Giobbi. She's moments before she goes on stage to open for Sofi Tukker. She's on tour all across America with Sofi Tukker and with Galantis. So make sure you find her if she's coming to your city. She's a DJ, producer. She's the leader of the nonprofit Femmehouse, which is teaching women how to produce electronic music. She's also the music director at W Hotels, and she's a co-founder of the Animal Talk Collective with Sofi Tukker, which is a publishing company and much more. Man, I'm tired just listing everything that she does. It's amazing. She's got some great stories. She tells us kind of a surprising bit about how she became a DJ, one of my favorite stories that I've heard lately. And we talk about collaboration, imposter syndrome, prioritizing, all kind of good stuff in a short episode. So let's dig in right after our EDM.com track of the week. Hey, that was Uptown with Addicted, the EDM.com track of the week. If you like that one, get over to EDM.com and check out more new music. And now let's get into the interview with LP Giobbi. Nothing's live. You can...
yeah, no, I'm more thinking, like, I just changed so many things in my show.
Oh, you did?
Should I have not done that?
No, go with it.
You know what?
You gotta go with
If
it.
it doesn't work, then I'll know.
Exactly.
And it's like, that's my
If you're not going to try stuff,
right?
you're not going to learn. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate you saying that.
No,
That's
that's totally true.
I think it's going to make it better, but I've just not done a lot of it before. But you know what? Leap. You just got to leap sometimes.
What have you tried that didn't work?
What's that?
What have you tried that didn't work?
Well, I'm kind of, because it's weird. I have two sets. So like I only have a 30-minute journey with everybody.
Yeah.
And so like normally I know how to compose like an hour to 3 hour set, you know.
Sure.
But now it's like, before I was trying to do it all in 30 minutes, and so now, and I have like a lot of gear that I incorporate in different ways, and so I just think I need to pick a vibe for each set.
Yeah.
And the first set's going to be more gear based, I think, but I haven't really done a 30-minute set with mostly just the gear yet. So.
Cool.
Is that a bad idea?
Why?
You know what? Yeah, whatever. Nobody's going to be there for my first set anyways.
Yeah, LA folks show up late.
Yeah, totally.
For sure.
Great. Okay,
Yeah.
then I'm good.
It's good. Then you get to work it out.
Yeah, totally.
You'll see what you feel, and a few people that are there,
Yeah.
you'll get it moving. I've seen some of your stuff online. You're like killing the crowd.
Oh, thank you.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like for me, it's so interesting being a DJ playing on a stage. You
Yeah.
know? Because.
Oh, it's totally different than a club, right?
Oh my gosh, in the club, like I can feel them. I can
Right.
like see them. They're like, you know. And on the stage, they're like there. And so sometimes I just like I keep wanting to like come close.
Right. It's funny. We interview a lot of DJs, and everyone talks about reading the room and kind of what that means for them. And then I go, so what's that like at a festival? And they're like, oh yeah, it doesn't.
No, exactly. So
Yeah.
it doesn't exist that you just I always kind of have a very good idea of what I'm gonna play at a festival.
Right.
And I'm realizing stages are similar in that
Yeah,
way. Like
sure.
there's 3,000 people here. We're not gonna like necessarily become a unified, one mindset necessarily.
Right.
That's the goal.
Although I have seen that.
Yeah, right. And I mean,
I've seen it, but it's rare.
Yeah, and also I think that usually a DJ is not like nobody like it. Back in the day, at least, before they were like on God towers, you're not supposed to like look and stare at the DJ, right? So an event.
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to.
But people do.
I know, but especially on a stage, it's literally that's for sure. So.
I have friends who are DJs who like yell at people for staring at them.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like, okay, so is there a separation between a DJ set and like a live, live
There
set?
is. Yeah.
But like, I can't, like my background is being in a band. And
Right.
like, so like I would never call what I do live, but I am going to incorporate more gear into it. So,
Sure.
it's giving me an opportunity on a stage to like do more of that. And like
Yeah.
in a club, it's kind of unnecessary.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I want to hear about this background.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, of course. Thank
I'm
you
really
for having
excited
me.
to learn about you. I've been watching all your stuff online. It's amazing.
Thank
You
you.
definitely make my kind of music.
Oh, good.
And I love your team. Paula is an old friend who I love. Susie, I've known forever. Love her as well.
I have a remarkable
And
team.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm so lucky. Yeah.
You're
All badass women. It's
You're
crazy.
doing good things.
Thank you.
That's amazing. So let's talk about how you got started. And I know you grew up playing music as well. But do you remember the first record you ever bought for yourself?
Yes. Mighty Mighty Boss Stones.
Oh, wow.
It was a tape.
Okay.
And I saved up for it.
We have come a long way.
My allowance.
Yeah.
Yeah. That and also Cyndi Lauper.
I think I'm friends with one of the Boss Tones.
You're kidding. I used to love
I think so.
it. And
He does A&R
never
now.
had to knock on wood. That's them, right?
Sure.
So I'm glad I never
Yeah,
had.
let's say it
and
is.
I wonder if I could. Anyways, I love that song. Yeah.
And what's Cyndi Lauper?
And Cyndi Lauper.
Girls just want to have fun?
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
like, and actually, Time After
Oh,
Time.
yeah, for sure.
Classic.
I mean, that's the better record.
Yeah.
For
The
like-
B-side? Yeah.
For like music people, like that's the better
Yeah,
record.
yeah.
But obviously
Not
that,
obvious choice. So.
right, but
yeah.
that song was such an undeniable hit.
Yeah, beautiful. And also,
You didn't buy that. You weren't around when that came out, though. You bought that like after the fact.
Possibly. I don't know. I remember
Yeah.
getting my hands on the tape and like being obsessive with how she wore and how she wore it, and like that was even more than the music. Was just like, look at this crazy girl. You can be crazy like this.
Mm-hmm.
Inspiring.
And then, so then you grew up playing music.
Yeah, in second grade, I went to my parents and I was like, I have to take piano lessons.
Nice.
And they were like, you're way too young and you can barely sit still for more than 5 minutes.
Sure.
No, we're not gonna spend money on that.
Yeah.
But they,
Smart parents.
yeah, but they're amazing humans and they went and found me a piano teacher. And this woman, Carolyn Horn, lived in Eugene. And she normally wouldn't take anybody under 4th grade, but my parents were like, just meet with her. And so I met with her, and it was like our two souls were like,
Nice.
like she is my person. She's
Yeah.
the most amazing kindred spirit, just spark plug. So I studied with her all the way through 12th grade before I left for college. And like in middle school, and I didn't want to practice, and
course.
most people quit.
Yeah.
She captivated me by just cultivating creativity. So instead of doing scales, some days we would just like play the inside of the piano, or some lessons we would just play the bongos, or some lessons we would just sit and talk. And so for that reason, I stayed with it. And so it's truly because of her that I'm sitting here right now.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she's remarkable.
I'm excited about that because I have a young son who plays music, and I'm deathly afraid that he's going to quit way too early.
Totally. For me, it was all about the teacher. Like
Yeah.
I just I always wanted to be around her.
Yeah. No, I think that's big. I think that you find these people in your life that inspire you to do different things, and without that, it's just a piece of wood or.
Totally, totally. And, like this show is a big show for me and I'm pretty nervous and I always have to, what grounds me is thinking about her,
Nice.
just she taught me how to, find my inner child and share joy and, nothing else matters. It doesn't matter how perfect you play or whatever, just, tap into that.
So, and then when did you come to, now you make house music?
Yeah, yes, that is a journey.
Yeah.
It's a journey that I wish I could go back in time and be like, get there sooner.
Yeah?
So I started studying jazz in middle school, or I guess high school.
It's a big future in that.
Well, and so then I went to college, and I loved school. I was really nerdy, and so my parents assumed I was gonna do masters and
Sure.
higher education.
What were you gonna be?
In
their dream of being
they're deadheads. They're hippies. They are.
Okay.
They actually I was a straight A student, and
Yeah.
they wanted me to get a B because they thought I was too intense, and they wanted me to show me that the world will not end if you get a B.
I'm not so sure about that.
And like I couldn't, like I was so type A.
Right.
I still am. So my you know, I didn't know what I wanted my major to be. And my parents were like, just take all the classes that you love, and then, you know, that'll be your major, and then you can go and get a master's, and it doesn't matter. So I ended up with a jazz piano performance degree from UC Berkeley.
Okay.
Which, like, then I graduated, and I kind of was burnt out from school, and I was like, now what am I going to do
Yeah.
with this? Great advice, parents. And so I actually ended up working for a concert promoter in the Bay Area, but at night I would play jazz gigs at this local bar
Okay.
for fun. And this producer who was working with Daft Punk and Justice, he heard me one night and asked if I wanted to move to LA and join an all-female electronic band. And
Okay.
I was like, I don't even know what a synthesizer is. And he was like, oh, you know, that's the easy part. If you have, you know, if you have theory and you know how to play, like, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I believed him. Like,
I mean,
that I
that's
thought
kinda
that it
right.
would be easy.
Yeah.
Because it was 3 years of, like, hitting my head against the wall as I was trapped in a garage learning, you know, synthesis and sound design and Pro Tools and Ableton and how to, like, MIDI clock 7 synths on stage live. And, like, it was intense. It was the hardest thing I've ever done.
Wow.
Yeah, and but that's where I started to learn how to produce. But we were making like really weird experimental music, and I was playing Snow Globe Music Festival, and I was the opening set for Sofi Tukker. But I was just like DJing off my laptop. It wasn't.
Right.
It was bad. Okay, nobody was there except for my mom, who was only on the dance floor to like feed me chicken nuggets.
And it's
I
like
was
freezing, right?
What's that?
It's like
And
cold.
it's freezing. It's cold. I'm like, is this my life?
Yeah.
Is this gonna be like? It was a dark moment. And then I left, and I got a DM on Instagram from Sofi Tukker, and they were like, we were backstage. We listened to your whole set. We loved it. Do you want to come on tour with us?
Wow.
And I was like, oh, I'm not a DJ. Like, that's not. I'm a piano player, and I'm in this weird band. And like, they're like, well, we liked what you played. If you want to come, come.
Right.
So I learned how to DJ on the road, and literally like at shows, like a lot of hit and miss. And then Tucker was like, you should start making music that you would play in a DJ set. Like, you're also this joyous
a good
person,
idea.
and you're making this like really dark music. What if you didn't?
Yeah.
So, you know, while DJ, I learned what worked on the dance floor, and I learned like what got me excited, which ultimately gets them excited, and so that's kind of how it started. Oh no, you're great.
Some people might not have had the wisdom to take advice from strangers.
Well, I was a huge Sofi Tukker fan, though.
Okay.
And like, I loved what they did. In fact,
Cool.
one of the songs I was working on with the band at the time, I just found this journal, and I opened it up, and the reference track was Drinky,
Nice.
which is so funny I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
And also, you know, it was good advice. Like, I really come alive if the music speaks to me, and
Yeah.
I think that the period with the band was like a really weird, experimental, angsty period, and it was great. I'm so grateful for it. But ultimately, like, that's not who I am. I'm like a
Yeah, you don't seem
unicorn. Yeah, I like
super angsty.
really like happiness.
Yeah. Happiness is cool, it turns out.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that took me a long time. You're like, I wanted to be cool.
Yeah.
And then finally, Sofi and Tuck were like, you're not that cool. Just lean into that. And like, that will make you cool. So I think
Okay.
I'm finally getting there. Yeah.
So was that, I mean, the way you tell it was like pretty instantaneous.
Oh my gosh, it felt like forever.
Yeah.
But it actually was only a few years.
Okay. Oh no, I meant like making that decision to kind of shift gears.
Yeah, you know, I mean, at first I wasn't good enough to produce the music I wanted to play.
Yeah.
You know, I had a bar that was set, and it was just, I was not hitting it. And it probably didn't, like the tracks I'm releasing now, I mean, even the first few tracks I released, I probably wouldn't, I don't play a lot of them anymore, you know?
What's the first track that feels like you?
De Halapasar.
Okay.
And I'll definitely play it tonight.
Yeah.
I love playing it live
Yeah, I
because
love
there's
that
like a
song.
moment where I can
I heard
rip
it.
on the piano and do like some jazz riffs just like
Nice.
over the breakdown. And sometimes I'm like, oh, should I have recorded that in the actual recording? But whatever, let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably...
No, because then you can do it on
I
stage.
know, it makes it a little bit special to see
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's what I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's been a journey. I mean, it's still a journey. I keep thinking this is it, and then, it evolves.
So now you're a very busy woman with W Hotels.
Yeah. Femmehouse.
Femmehouse.
Yeah.
Is it Animal Collective?
Animal Talk Collective.
Animal Talk.
Yeah.
Animal Collective is that other
Yeah,
thing,
that other great.
right?
Yeah. Tricky.
So let's talk about all that. Like,
Yeah.
First of all, so what are you doing for W?
I'm the North American Music Director.
Okay.
Which means I help and consult on their record label, their recording studios, their music festivals. I book a lot of our living room live shows, which are shows on property.
Yeah.
And I also curate all the sounds that you hear when you walk into the hotel. So it's a lot. Yeah. But it's actually so 10 years ago, when I was working for Another Planet Entertainment. I was like interning in college, and I opened up a Billboard magazine, and I saw that W Hotels had just started this position, Global Music Curator, and I thought, oh my gosh, to get to play with brand money and book the acts that you love and believe in, and so I thought, awesome, and I ripped it out, and I put it on my vision board, not even kidding you, and 10 years later, I am that person. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Manifestation. Maybe
so
it works.
why are you the right one for that role?
I think that, so I have a background in the music industry, and I also am an artist. And so it sort of allows me to see both sides of the coin. And I also, have a lot of great relationships with artists who I really believe in, who are coming up, and W is all about what's new and next. And to be able to, plug them into the right channels, and I know both parties will get something out of that is a real treat for me.
Was that hard to get? I mean, it seems like, I love it. I think you're probably doing great stuff for them. I haven't been in a W in a while.
I just started, so that's fair.
Okay. But, but you can, I think it would be easy to imagine a brand like that just wanting a big name, who probably doesn't even do it themselves, and they have somebody else do everything. And
Totally.
Right?
Yeah. There are, I think that to a certain degree, the festival headliners still need to be big names, obviously.
Sure, of course.
And there is, some of that, but what's
I'm just saying the music director position, you could see them, just the press release of, Jay-Z's our music director, whoever.
Oh, yeah, totally, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think that they got to a place where, we need somebody who will actually do work.
Yeah.
And I am a workhorse, so I think that they're actually more surprised by I've been doing a lot of brand partnerships for them, and I don't know if they necessarily saw that coming, but I'm working on something with them in Dolby right now because I've worked with Dolby as an artist before, so
nice.
Yeah,
that's
really
cool.
A lot of fun opportunities.
Yeah, and then tell me about Femmehouse.
Femmehouse is what really makes me happy and keeps me going.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's being an artist is so me, and it's exhausting and also not a healthy way to live.
Yeah.
So, Femmehouse is it's a platform to help teach women how to produce music tangibly. It's a monthly workshop based in LA. It's free for women and non-binary, and safe space to learn how to use Ableton and program drums and what MIDI concepts are. And I think there's this weird narrative in LA that is there's so many talented singer-songwriters who are sort of waiting for a producer to pluck them out of obscurity.
Sure.
And that is usually a male role. 3% of women are producers or something crazy. And the producer role is so important because it controls the sound of the song, therefore the sound of their voice. And so I felt impassioned to help give women those tools. And not obviously not every woman's going to go and be a producer, but at least speak the language in the studio so they can still sort of own the sound of their song.
Yeah.
And also it expands what you thought you could be. So I was constantly in the band. We were in rooms with male producers, and I had awesome experiences. But it wasn't until I heard that Grimes produced her own record that I even thought that could be a role I could have. And just lack of visual representation. And my parents were hippies. They're like, you can do anything. You definitely almost too much. Right. But I just never saw myself in that role, so it didn't even occur to me.
Yeah.
So when I realized oh, I could be that, then it opened my mind up to what else could I do that I didn't think I could do. So I think that's why Femmehouse is important, and I've met so many amazing women. It's blown my mind. I feel really lucky to get to be a part of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who are the women that, other than Cyndi Lauper and Sofi,
Only Cyndi Lauper.
that have kind of influenced you in music or in your career?
Yeah, great question. Ooh, there's my piano teacher, the first one, Carolyn
Yeah.
Horn. Shout out. I'm working with an artist named Kalina Zanders right now. We have a track coming out together, and she has really opened my mind to the possibility of combining ways to combine different genres in a way that, I mean, it's important to her, like, we need to make music that people will play and listen to, and but she never follows trends. She's just aware of them and then puts her own, like, what does that mean to you? Right now, like, tech house, bass house is like very in, but like, what does that mean in your language? And so she's really opened my skill set to being able to sift through that and like put it through my DAW system,
Okay. I've heard, sorry, I'm gonna let you finish, but
No, yeah, go.
people talk about, they talk about the difference between male and female leaders in CEOs, right? And I always cringe a little bit. It's because we're just like, it's just more stereotypes, but like they'll, generalize that, female CEOs are often more inclusive, or they're more adaptable, right?
Yeah.
There's,
And biologically, I think, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I actually read one thing that women are harder negotiators when they're negotiating on behalf of someone else, and men are better negotiators, or they're tougher when they're negotiating on their own behalf.
Yeah.
So have a female lawyer.
I do. Great. Good.
Okay, good. But don't be a female lawyer.
Right. Interesting.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
So would you say that there's similar differences to producing music?
I think that there's like already a mental battle that I can only speak for myself, but that I go through with, imposter syndrome and like believing that I can do something. And I don't know if that's because...
Everyone has that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have that. I don't know how gendered it is, but like there's I have less, representation to look at.
Sure.
And so I think that like I have to really dig deep for that like belief that I can do this. I think a lot of people do. I'm not necessarily saying it's just gendered, but...
Yeah.
I also, I really love collaborating in songs and production, but I think that's just because I really love being around other people's energy, and being in a studio by yourself is a really solitary, isolating thing.
Right.
So I don't know.
So what makes someone a good collaborator for you?
I think that it's really, so it's, to me, it's like, whoa.
Don't fall.
I got so excited. To me, it's like, what is that? Not charades. When people stand up, not stand up, but...
Improv.
Improv, thank you. It's like improv.
Yeah.
So like the first rule of improv is yes and. Like you never shut something down. And the best sessions I've had, or the best songs that have come out of what I've done, have always been yes and. Like you have to just go with it.
Yeah.
And also, you have to go with whatever somebody else's idea is. Even if you right away are like, I don't think that's going to be it, but like say yes and let it flow, And that's been a really, and I type A personality is like tends to like, and so it's been really good for me to like work on yes and.
Yeah.
And that's probably, I think that makes a good collaboration.
Yeah.
Two people who can do that together, or three, whatever.
I love talking about Femmehouse. There's the track Manifesto.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which I thought. So it's the manifesto of
It's the
Femmehouse,
manifesto
right?
of Animal Talk, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I love that concept of putting the manifesto in a song.
Thank you. That was really fun. We did that on the
How
tour
come
bus.
no one's done that before? That's
We were.
So, and then tell me about Animal Talk.
Animal Talk is an artist collective. Again, tangibly, it's a publishing company, a joint venture, Third Side. But it's also a party where we go into clubs and turn it into neon jungles, and everybody gets animal masks and dresses like animals, and like we rave all night. And as you'll see, I oftentimes like howl on stage, just like let it out. And so like that's what the party is.
Nice.
And it's about tapping into your inner child and uplifting others around you. The more light that shines on others, the more will hit you is the concept. Because I think in the music industry, it's like sometimes feels like there can only be one on top. And we don't believe that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the song, the manifesto says it all. Sophie wrote that, and we made the music to that on a tour, literally on an off day on the tour bus. It was so fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then you got this track, Amber Rose, that's blowing up.
Oh my gosh, that yeah. See, even that is like, I don't know if I would because going back to right now, who I'm really inspired by, Kink is probably like my biggest.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with him. Like every morning while I work out, I watch a video of him live.
Okay.
I think he's everything.
Really?
The music he makes, the EP he just put out, the Femmehouse EP. It's like, I'm so mad I didn't make those songs, you know.
Okay.
And how he uses gear, and he's just, he's a genius. But where was I going with that? What was your question?
Just the Amber Rose track.
Oh yeah, so I love Amber Rose. Like, would I make it now? I don't know, but it's one of my. I mean, I people, you know, when I'm DJing at a club, will usually write on their phone like, have I missed Amber Rose?
Of course.
Like, okay, I guess I'm playing that. But that track was that was one of the first songs I ever made. It was the first song I made.
Oh really?
Yes. And I was actually talking to Tukker about, you know, what, like, should I have vocals on my track? Should I not? You know, how do I even start doing this? And he's like, well, you really care about, you know, empowering the female voice. Like, are there any friends that you have that like have written feminist poems that you could like throw on top or whatever? So I called her Mix-a-Lot, and she's an amazing poet. I'm like, have you written a feminist poem recently? And she's like, yeah. I'll come down and show you. So actually, my microphone was broken, so she recorded it. I just plugged my headphones into the input, and, you know, record it that way. And it's still my favorite sounding vocal. So funny. And she started saying, I'll never forget this. I was like, okay, play it on repeat. And she's like, I Amber Rose on these hoes. Amber Rose. And I was like, I stopped it, and I was like, what is that? Like, I hated it. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, what is this? This is not feminist. Amber, why are you, you know? And she broke it down for me. She is, actually, this is extremely feminist. Like, this is a woman who was told, like, you're only worth your body, you're trash, whatever. And she flipped that story, and, you know, now sitting in a mansion. She's doing just fine. So I was like, okay, like, let's go with this. And yeah, it turned into the track that it is, and it's a bop.
No, I love it, and I could see why, like, people. I mean, it's just infectious.
Yeah, it's fun. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, my friends called me. They were at Fire Island recently, and they heard it playing in the club, and they called me, and I was like, I feel like I can retire if the song is being played out there.
No, I mean, it's like it makes sense.
Yeah. It's like, and it's a voguing moment, and like that is the community that I love. So.
Yeah. And you know, I love that story because I think, you know, it bothers me a little bit when feminism is only defined in these narrow confines of a certain perspective or certain style, right?
Yeah, totally. That's so fair.
And you know, as I always say with anything, right? There's always different perspectives and ways to look at it.
Yeah.
No, it's cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
What's next? What do you got this tour?
I have this tour, and then I'm going out on the road with Maddie on after this.
Oh, okay.
His direct support for a run, playing Galantis with Galantis at the Shrine next week.
Nice.
So I'm popping off this tour for a day, coming back. And then go to Europe with Sofi Tukker.
Nice.
Then I play Snow Globe Music Festival.
Have you done Europe yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pumped. Yeah, I love it there. And also it's going to be during the holidays, and
Amazing.
I'm pretty much elf. So I'm freaking out that I'm going to be over there during the during the Christmas markets.
Right.
Like, my head's just going to be like, oh my God, I'm going to miss all the shows.
Of course.
And I have a track coming out with TT the artist. She's so dope. And I have another track coming out with Crush Club. TT the artist is the end of this month. Crush Club is next month. It's called Angel. It's coming out on Sweat It Out. And it is, you'll hear it tonight. It's, you know, just, it's a bop. It's another one of those songs where, like, we made it in a day, and we were like just laughing the whole time, and it just worked. I guess that's what happens when you're happy and creating.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So how do you decide what to say no to?
I'm bad at that. I say yes to everything, which is a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, my family and friends and partner are like, oh my God, They don't. Yeah, I probably could work on a little bit more balance. But I just feel so excited and like in such an intense time of creativity right now, and like just like fed by it all. And so I'm okay saying yes to too many things right now. But at a certain point, I'll probably have to.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Okay, lightning round before I let you go get on stage.
Gosh. Okay.
What's your favorite city to travel to?
Chicago.
Nice. We don't get that one a lot.
Really? What do you get?
I don't know.
It's like literally the best city.
No, it's great. People either
There's
name.
only one answer.
A lot of people say like where they're from, which is weird.
Oh, definitely
That's
not.
fine.
Eugene, Oregon. No, I'm sorry. I love Eugene, but.
No, Chicago's a great city. I love it there. Who's your favorite DJ?
Kink.
What's the last great book you read?
I just read. Okay, it was my first book that I read that wasn't a self-help book in like 5 years, and it was unbelievable. I was like, oh, this is fun. Where the crawdads sing. It's like pretty popular right now.
Oh, cool.
It was so good.
Yeah.
But I'm also now I just started reading Patti Smith's new book.
Oh yeah.
The Monkey, You're the Monkey. And it's like very weird and like, stream of consciousness. And my aunt gave that to me. She came to my show in Portland. She gave it to me so that I could like read something and come down after the shows at night on the tour bus.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's been fun.
What's your favorite self-help book?
The book that changed my life, like probably the second reason I'm sitting here, The Artist's Way.
It's great.
It's everything.
That's awesome. What movie have you seen the most in your life?
Have I seen the most?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate watching the same movie twice.
You do?
Yeah. Wow. So I don't know if I ever have.
Really?
Because I feel like what a waste of time. I've already seen it. I've consumed that. Like consume something new.
That's amazing.
But you know what? I've seen more than I've seen one more than twice. The Piano.
That's a good one.
Have you seen that? The scene where she's running through the forest and the cinematography and the. Yeah.
Okay. You ever wake up with a song in your head?
I think I have I've woke up with a melody in my head one time.
Oh no, like a song you know.
Oh, a song I know. Yeah.
What's the last one you remember?
Oh, great question. That is a good question. I know. Well, it's a Sofi Tukker song. Sacrifice. It's not out yet.
Okay.
It's so good.
Nice. I'm going to tell you my last one.
Oh, good.
Because I make a playlist. I've started making a playlist.
But like, did songs that get stuck in your head?
Oh, Galvanize, the Chemical Brothers.
Oh, that's sick.
I love that song.
Well, you woke up with that in your head?
Yeah, I wake up.
What is going on in your
And then I just put it in the playlist.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Sometimes it's songs I don't like, which sucks.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is.
I feel like that's usually the case for me, except for Sacrifice.
If I worked for you, what would I hear you say over and over?
Okay, I'm so sorry to do this, but probably that.
Yeah, that's good. That gets you a lot of license. Right?
I said sorry first.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Paul was probably like, yep, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for talking to us. It was great.
Thank you.
I'm excited to see the show.
Thank you.
Come back anytime and promote more stuff.
Cool,
and we'll be watching you. Yeah.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
That was LP Giobbi on Rebel Radio. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. Make sure you hit us up. Leave us a comment, a review on Apple, on Twitter, on Facebook. Our pages are at Rebel Radio Net. And most importantly, come back next week for more Rebel Radio. Peace.